One of the key lessons for me has been, finding myself navigating spaces where I often stand as the only Black person in the room, and being kind of comfortable with that. Being intentional about, making sure my voice is being heard, and also being mindful that, I'm not falling into stereotypes or like, and I'm accepting my expertise. And so for me personally, being Black and being an immigrant has created like a unique intersection of, challenges, where my qualifications and, my competence were questioned in ways where like my Black peers didn't experience the same way. So sometimes I find myself, I'm having to prove my capabilities beyond what's expected of others. And really my first experience with this was in graduate school during like COVID. So in the heat of COVID, when like case and contract tracing, they needed more people. I know different health organizations reached out to like my department that we want your public health students, and so I and my friends applied, and I got feedback that, my first degree was not science based or biology based, something like that. And I told my friend like, yeah, I didn't make it. And my friends were like, well, I have a business degree. Another person had like a social something degree. So very completely different. So that was my first kind of like experience. Like, okay, I may be experiencing things differently than other people, just because of like the background and, where I come from and all of those pieces. And so like, I try to make this as my strong point, where like I've been very strategic and, intentional about seeking mentorship, because I believe like, if you want to go anywhere, you have to like, look out for people who have been there, and, they can teach you how they've gotten there. So I try to proactively learn from those who have successfully navigated the system. So, understanding their approaches and also applying those lessons in my own journey. And I also try to speak out, like, and advocate for myself as much as possible, because again, even with that situation, I remember writing a very lengthy email to the HR personnel around, all of the things that were wrong with that decision. And they did come to terms like, okay, that was actually wrong. So I try to advocate for myself and speak up when those things happen, because again, I don't want someone who comes after me to experience the same thing. And also, I'm also very intentional about the kind of teams that I join. So really, during interview questions, when it's time to ask the panelists their own questions, I'm intentional about asking questions around diversity, inclusion, and how they try to like, make sure that they have representative teams, just because you can get a feel of like, what kind of team you're joining. Because again, it can take a mental toll on you if you have to always, navigate, anti-racism in specific places. So those are some of the things that I've tried to do in my own journey in my career.